Today is me and her anniversary. I met her 18 years ago, May 20th. Long time ago. Yeah, almost as long as you've been born. Yeah, I met her May 20th, you know what I'm saying? Here we are. We was planning to be in New York this weekend. Right? I had already decided I wasn't going to be at New York house. Yeah, I was going, you know, and we was going, but we got requested by one of the elders to stay behind and do the class. Some other people were supposed to be here, but they couldn't make it. But yeah, at the request of the elders, you know, we pushed aside our plans to go away, and we're here for you. Because see, I want y'all to know how serious this damn thing is. Right? I can go away anytime. It don't have to be a specific date for me to go anywhere. Right? But I already had my go away planned. I was out of here. Gonna be bumming out somewhere. But this thing is that important. Is that vital that we get to you and that we get to you, the young women. See, because sooner or later you're gonna be mothers. You're mothers anyway, because you're female. But sooner or later you may give birth to some children. And if you get this in your head and in your soul, and it becomes a part of you, even as soon as you conceive, it's already a part of them. And they come out knowing what you know. Right? When you read, they read. When you sing, they sing. What you feel, they feel. Listen, dude, listen. Do y'all realize how powerful that makes you? Extremely powerful. It doesn't look, I can pick this up and I can throw it across the room. You say, oh man, he's strong. But my strength don't mount, not nearly like you. I'm not nearly as strong as you. Mentally, emotionally, physically. And that's the truth. And I'm a man standing here and not ashamed to say that. That I understand that you are far superior than I. But I want you to understand it. Now, I ain't getting compensated for standing there. So I'm not getting paid to say this. I'm telling you this because it's true.
I beat him up, that's why
Anyway. I'm saying it because it's true, right? My only thought, my only desire is the uplifting of fallen humanity. Everything else I do, I go have fun and go away. Yeah, that's all cool and everything. But to the core of me is this. We went away a couple weeks ago. We went away on vacation a couple weeks ago. And I set up a lecture in North Carolina the day before we went away on vacation. And I financed the trip. That's how vitally important this is to me, y'all. I financed the trip to North Carolina for me and Taj to go lecture. That's how important this thing is. So for those people who it's not so important to, people who just want the benefit, the only thing we got to do is just let them be. We can't sit around and we can't continue to argue with them. We can't continue to fight with them. And we can't sit there and be disputing and debating with them. It's futile. It's a waste of time. Everybody wants what I put on the front of this page right here. This first page, and it says remedy. People be calling me like, yo, when you going to teach on the UCCs? When you going to teach on this? When you going to teach on that? Remedy. That's all they talk about, right? Remedy don't necessarily come in a monetary form, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a monetary remedy, right? I want to know not how to pay this. I want to know how to not pay that. Why? Why? I'm asking. Free ride. They want a free ride. Now, true indeed, PICO is charging us for electric currents to go from poles through wires into our home on our ancestral estate. But the sad reality of it is, we ain't in control of our vast ancestral estate. That's the sad reality of it. You know the other sad reality of it? Is that we can't come together to form a jural society to even be able to go and sit and talk with PICO. I've said it 50 times. The people in this room constitute a state. we can take the people in this room. Everybody got the same understanding, the same desires, the same wishes, the same everything. That makes a state, a jural society. Do we need a leader? We can have a whole roundtable forum. We don't need a leader. Look, I don't need my name in lights. We can sit at a round table and everybody got the same amount of juice. But instead, people would rather write all of these different writs and argue with Pico and argue with this one and argue with that one, and then I go down there and my writ is totally different. So they look at the one you wrote and they look at the one I wrote and they like, it's nonsense. They toss it. Now imagine this. Imagine we go outside and get in the car, right? And I run a red light. And I run a red light, right? And I get a ticket for running the light. And then I go to South Philly and I run another red light and I get another ticket for running the light. Those tickets are going to be exactly the same. I ain't going to get one ticket from the 35th district and then get a different ticket from the 3rd district. It ain't going to work like that. Now, although we know they're just a glorified security agency, they got their act together. And they master putting their foot on your neck. We got to get our act together. We got to master getting their feet off. Just give me 1 second. I'm just reading something the other day. Just talking about Herodotus. We read nothing about no Herodotus. Herodotus wasn't no father or nothing. And pull it back. Show me exactly what it is when we read this. I ain't reading nothing about no Herodotus. Herodotus wasn't father or nothing. Herodotus learned just like all the rest of them Greeks learned. They went right into Northeast Africa and they got all their information. But when you get it, let me know. But I put on the top of this page remedy because everybody should have a copy. Because your remedy is not, you shouldn't be chasing a monetary remedy. The remedy you should be chasing should be internal. Right there it says that the brain is supposed to be the seat of the soul. The remedy you should be chasing is saving your own soul. Right? Because see, when you start to think differently and you start to see differently, everything is different to you. The way you move, the way you act, the way you handle situations, the way you deal with people, the way you talk to people. I guess over the past month, I've been coming across all this information about the brain, right? There's a video called Their Immortal Brain. Y'all should check it out whenever you get a chance. Your Immortal Brain. It's an hour long. So I watched that video and I watched it over and over, and then I come across all this other stuff about manifesting certain things, right? You are what you think. If you think negative all day, then you're going to be negative. That's all you're going to get. If you always think, man, I can't, man, I won't, you never will. Right? So we got to manifest this stuff in our minds. We can't keep saying, yo, man, you know, I want to write this word about this, I want to write this word about that. We should be focusing on coming together as a jural society. Right? Everybody is not a writ writer. Some people should never even touch a pen. That's real talk. Some people should never even touch a pen, but they writing writs, and they laughing at us, y'all. But if we did form that jural society, right? Let's just say everybody in this room formed that jural society, right? And then we got people in place to take care of that specific thing. Okay. We got people in place. Don't touch it. All right. We got people in place to do that specific thing, right? Now, truth be told, that's what the Moorish Science Temple of America is supposed to be doing. That's the purpose of it. It's supposed to be the regency, to go between you and them, right? But you form this jural society, and you live in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You live in that life, not talking that life. You live in that life. You should be able to go in and say, listen, I'm having issues with Pico. And you're talking to the elders at the round table, the people at the round table, they say, all right, Sister Ali Manto, she got that. Take it to her, she'll handle it. you don't say nothing to Pico. It's just like when you go get an attorney, the attorney say, don't say nothing else to her. You tell me, and I'll handle it. That's how we're supposed to be operating. But we're not. Everybody got their chest poked out, they want their name in lights. Well, I did that. And don't get me wrong, yo, I fell victim to it. I was writing more rich than tell you. I was writing more rich than a little bit. But I was kicking some butt. I lost a couple, but I kicked some butt. But the reality of it is, I'm writing one differently. Miss Phil is writing one, and they all different. And it's all, but same one does rewrite, the same one Miss Phil is writing. I write. They all going, you know what I'm saying? And then she looking at it like, hey, all right, forget all of you. Screen done went off, so you gotta put it. Go back in. He told me not to touch it, so I ain't touching it. We're gonna read about Asia to y'all, the origin of the word. Just read the paragraph. Romans referred to two provinces when talking about Asia, Asia Minor and Asia Major. A common theory is that the Greek name ultimately derived from the Phoenician word asu, which means east, and the Akkadian word asu, which means to go out, to rise. Now, you can just type in the origin of the word Asia. What rises in the east? People of the sun. Let's look at this first page that says remedy. All of the stuff that's on these pages is out of the Seven Holy Koran. And you got definitions that I put to the side. I always do the definitions because I like clarity. I thrive on clarity. So I want you to fully be able to comprehend what it is that we're reading and that we're going over. Because although you have heard these words and you have used these words, you probably just got a surface understanding of what the words mean. So if you got the definition then and you read it, and then you reread what it is that you read, you'll get a whole different meaning or understanding of what it is you read. So chapter 23 of the Holy Quran are holy instructions for thy children. And when we get through this, you'll understand what I mean by this is remedy. It says, consider, thou art a parent, the importance of thy trust. The being thou hast produced is thy duty to support. Anybody care to go in a bit on what that might mean? It's not.
To raise them as a child.
Yeah, the children that the mothers bear, it is the duty of the mother and father to support them.
It talks about the importance of trust. Right? They're going to come out of you trusting you. They're going to come out of you and you are their everything when you deliver these children. They trust you to no end. You see animals give birth, and what they do, what them animals do, they get right up under their mother. Right? You can't ever breach that trust. As soon as you breach that trust, that child's going to go astray. As soon as you breach that trust. As soon as that child feel like I can't go to my mom, I can't go to my grandma because grandma, that's your child too. I can't go to my grandma, that child's going astray. And then you wonder why they walking around with their pants hanging off their bottoms. It's little small stuff. It's small stuff. Small stuff ultimately turns into big stuff because you got so much small stuff that upon thee also it dependeth whether the child of thy bosom be a blessing or a curse to thyself, and useful or a worthless member to the community. I define useful and I define worthless. Useful is an adjective from the Latin. It says producing or having power to produce good, beneficial, profitable, helpful towards advancing any purpose. That's the definition of useful. And the definition of worthless is having no value. Having no value or character or virtue. So you think let's focus on that word worthless. I heard a lecture from Dr. Ray Higgins probably almost 10 years ago. And he talked about that word worthless. And what he said was this. He actually broke it down, phonetically, worthless. Well, not phonetically, through the, with the syllables, worthless, worth and less. So if I got somebody that's around me that's nothing but trouble. Every time I get with them, I'm in trouble. Every time I get with them, they just got negative attitude and they bringing you down. That person is, they're not useful. They don't bring anything positive into your being. It could be your brother, it could be your aunt, it could be your uncle, it could be whatever. But that person in reality is worth less to you. Whether you love them, they're still worth less because they're only going to bring you down. It's almost like you touch this chair here. That's how some people do. Some people have that type of energy. When you see them, you're like, oh, this guy. How many people you done avoided? Each one of us done avoided somebody. You done been walking down the street like, because you don't feel like dealing with this person. Some people are actually worth less. And anybody in your life that's worth less, you should get rid of them. I ain't saying kill them. That's not what I mean. Get rid of them. That ain't what I mean. Yeah, because I want to be clear. Like I said, get rid of them. Somebody might be like, you know what? Yeah. So I want to be clear. That ain't what I meant. I mean, get rid of them. Just get some space between you and them. See them when you see them. That's what I mean. I don't mean. Prepare him early with instruction and season his mind with the maxims of truth. Watch the bent of his inclinations. Set him right in his youth, and let no evil habit gain strength with his years. I define some of those words in there. I define bent because you want to be clear. The state of being curved or crooked. And inclinations, right? Because I want you to understand what this passage is. Inclination, a leaning, any deviation of a body or line from an upright. So that right there says, watch the bent of his inclinations. Set him right in his youth, and let no evil habit gain strength within his years. You know, they talk about, with babies, they talk about them terrible twos, right? That's more bent and more inclination than you can handle sometimes. But if you do not set them straight, they're going to continue along that path. How you tell me how was a 5-year-old a real terror? How was a 5-year-old uncontrollable? How? Because you let that fire burn and burn and burn. You should either throw some water or some earth on that thing, cool that little thing down. Nowadays, I don't know what to tell y'all. They beat the hell out of us. And look, and all of us are still here, and we all walking and talking, so beatings couldn't have been that bad. Right? You ever got a beating, man? Yeah? Is that your mom sitting right there? No? All right, because she looked like, hell yeah, I'm beaten. You got beaten, sis?
Yeah.
You too?
Yeah.
Yeah, well. Was it safeguard you for life?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it probably kept you.
Turned out very
You know what I'm
good.
saying? Yeah. I got beat. See, we got beat by everybody though. You know what I'm saying? We got beat by everybody. You ever get 2 or 3 beatings for the same thing? No? Y'all ain't got no beatings then. If you don't get beat by who caused you, and then beat by your mom or pop or somebody later,
Oh my God.
yeah. That's reality. So watch for the betting and them inclinations. Set them baby straight. That way you ain't got to give them 2 and 3 beats for the same thing. So shall he rise like a cedar on the mountains. His head shall be seen above the trees of the forest. If you raise them right, see, even though it say right here, holy instructions for thy children. If you raise them right, and you send him in the path that he's supposed to go, he definitely will be able to see above them trees. You know what I'm saying? I said to my wife one day, I was like, man, I don't see the world the same way everybody else sees it. The way I see the world is the way a hawk sees the world. I still walk on the ground down here with y'all, but every now and then I take off and I fly. And I'm looking at the world from up there from a whole different perspective. I see something totally different than you, but at the same time, because I'm always flying, you on the ground and you see stuff that I don't see. So we need each other, hand in glove. A wicked son is the reproach of his father, But he that doth right is an honor to his gray hairs. What's reproach? Y'all got the definitions right in front of y'all. You telling me I went through the hassle of defining all these words? Y'all ain't going to read them to me? What's reproach? Shame. A wicked child is the shame of his father. Because ultimately, it's them that send you out into the world. It's your parents it's our parents that send us out there. So what we do is a reflection on them. Right? Now, like I said, some people got them children that are just unruly, but that's because they ain't straighten them out. You got some mothers who won't allow fathers to beat the children, who won't allow them, they ain't got to beat them, but just to discipline. Sometimes a little boy need to be gripped up. I'm talking like, little boy need to be gripped up. I done been without wind quite a few times from getting punched in the chest. I'm just telling you real talk. Without wind, like, but I wasn't so wicked that I went out and was the reproach of my parents. You don't want to be the reproach of anything. You don't want to be the shame of anything. And you sure don't want your children to be the shame of you. The soil is thine own. Let it not want cultivation. The seed which thou sowest, that also shall reap. That's your child. All of this is saying the same thing. That's your child. Teach it, hold it, cultivate it, raise them right.
Can you raise a child in an amazing way without beating them?
Good. You know how? Let me show you. How was your day in school? Don't ask me a question.
I don't go to school anymore.
No, you're supposed to answer the question.
It was horrible.
It was horrible?
Yeah, it was horrible.
What happened?
All the kids, they just so mean. They talk about my shoes. I can't do that.
Well, what I need you to understand is I, your father, am doing the very best that I can, and I love you. So don't worry about them laughing at you. When they laugh at you, laugh back. Find something about them to laugh at. And if you can't, then make something up. You see how I just sat here and talked to you? That's how you should talk to your child. Right? Instead of saying, oh man, shut up, man, stop crying, man. When they laugh at you, man, no. Communication. So for the three of y'all, I want y'all to understand one thing. In any relationship, whether it's mother and father, son and daughter, boyfriend and girlfriend, cousin and cousin, best friend and best friend, the most important thing in a relationship is communication. If we can't talk, we can't do nothing. Because we're going to have disagreements. I might not like your hair. You might not like hers. Right? So, but communication is how you get through all of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I say, I don't like your hair. You say, you don't got to like it. It's fine. I'm the one that's got to walk down the street with it. But just so you know, I'm just you know what I'm saying? I just, because, it's, so, but you understand? So there are plenty of ways to discipline a child and to straighten a child out without beating. You don't have to beat them, but some children, they just, and see, listen, there are a lot of things that factor in to the way these children act, right? Like, we don't have arranged marriages here, right? So my mother and her father didn't know each other and say, look, y'all gonna get scientists, y'all, right? But what happened is we've been taken away from our sciences, and we've been fed TV, and we've been fed radio, and we've been fed all this other stuff, so we don't even begin to think on that kind of level when we once did. So, and you see that they still do, because in certain places, they still got fixed marriages. But that's why. Yep. They sit there and they watch Bree from all her life and be like, you know what? We can put it together when we get 18. And I might not even like Bree. I might like Delilah. Like, no, I'm here with Delilah. I get 18 like Bree. Why I got it? And I'm stuck. But reality of it is, it should be better for me because of stuff like that. It's scientific, and I know it goes over some people's head, but it's reality. You got a question?
What about the same sign?
The same sign? Sometimes same sign is harmonious, sometimes it's not. Right? Because you're so much alike. You might butt heads. Now the thing with astrology is this: it's a beautiful science, right? But you don't only just have, like, when's your birthday? October 11th. What's your sign? Libra. You got a moon sign and you got a rising sign as well. So all your life you've been saying, I'm a Libra. But in reality, you got two more signs, two very important signs, being the ascendant and the moon, that define you and give you certain energies, right? So people say, I'm just a Libra, and all your life you walk around saying, I'm just a Libra. I did. I walked around for years saying, I'm an Aquarius. But in reality, I'm a double Aquarius with a Sagittarian moon, right? So I got 2 air signs and 1 fire sign, right? So my signs are harmonious, right? But I got the one side of me, the Aquarian side, that's one way, and the Sagittarian side, that's a whole nother way, right? So you might be more of whatever your moon is than actually what your sun is. So with you and her being the same sign, y'all could possibly get along, or you could be all sun sign, and you could be all sun sign, and y'all won't be same sign. It's tricky, it's confusing, but it is what it is. It's a beautiful science once you get to understand it. It's not wrong.
You're absolutely right, but see, the woman has to understand that when she has a baby, the baby's being taught in her womb. So everything that he told you, it comes to your womb into that child. So the child automatically comes out knowing that. Because you teach it in your womb. Everything you do is going to come out in that child. And the marriages, I always thought that was kind of screwed up. Well, they planned this marriage for this person, planned it for that. But when I got and looked at metaphysics and astrology, I understood. Because like he was saying about the fire and water, that's why people don't stay together. Because they marry for looks or sex. And that's why you don't see anybody together. But if they got together with astrology and tried to get as close as they could, they'd get along a lot better. But he's right, 100%.
Listen, I love astrology now. I've been studying it for over a year. But I was one of them people too. I was one of them skeptics like, man, get out of here with that crap. That stuff don't make any sense. And what happened is one night me and my cousin were out. I see you, sis. One night me and my cousin were out, and he sat next to this girl. Yeah, what's up? Blah blah blah. And they started talking for a minute. She said, "What's your sign?" I said, "Sagittarius." She was like, She was like, "It'll never work." And we said, I'm sitting there, and I'm minding my business, but I ain't. So I'm sitting there, I'm ear hustling, right? John, that ain't gonna work. And he like that astrology stuff is nonsense. And she said, well, why you say that? And he said, well, I'm a Sagittarius. This cousin's birthday is December 8th. We have another cousin, his birthday is December 6th. It can't be more different. 2 days apart. The difference is this. One was born in 1974. The other one was born in 1975. You got a whole different astrological makeup a whole year later. So there ain't no way they're going to have the same energies, the same anything. Now, you could be born on, let's just say today, May 20th at 7 o'clock this morning. You could be born today at 7 o'clock at night. But if the moon just happened to change from one place to the next at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, y'all be totally different.
Yep. Yep.
Totally different.
Yep.
That's not what I'm saying.
So I get that from people all the time whenever I bring up the whole sign thing. They're like, oh, well, I don't believe in that, or I don't believe in horoscopes. And I get it. I'm like, I don't necessarily believe every horoscope that's in the daily newspaper. You can hire any Miss Cleo to write that. But I will tell you one thing. Since the beginning of time, there has only been one thing in this world that has not changed. The day changes, the weather changes, everything changes, we change, we grow, we move on, we change shifts and forms. There is one thing that has never changed. We can build ceilings and we can build walls to shelter ourselves from the outside, but every day the sun comes up, and every night those stars come out. So you can say that you don't believe in it, but for millions of years, the only thing has not changed is the stars and the sun, and there's got to be some truth to the one thing that has never, ever changed.
Thank you for that. Listen, nature don't need an excuse, and nature don't need a clock. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen. Every year, spring comes, every year winter comes, every year, and just like she said, it's clockwork. That, I mean, even that winter solstice, that whole Jesus story, right? It's clockwork every year. It's clockwork. It's going to happen. You're right. The one constant in this world is change. Everything is going to change, but that doesn't. Nature doesn't need any excuse, no time clock, no reason, no nothing. It just is. Thank you for that, sister. Teach him obedience, and he shall bless thee. Teach him modesty, and he shall not be ashamed. Teach him gratitude, and he shall receive benefits. Teach him charity, and he shall gain love. Teach him temperance, and he shall have health. Teach him prudence, and fortune shall attend him. Let's look at a couple of these words. Let's look at temperance. Temperance is moderate in the indulgence of appetites and passions. Let's read it again so we're clear on what it is when we read it. Temperance is moderate in the indulgence of the appetites and passions. What might be some appetites and passions that people might have? Television, sex, chocolate, greed. She just telling me I'm greedy salvation. Right? Yeah, but so all of these things, especially stuff like greed. Right? So many people, it's a lot of people that's material. They love that, they love everything material. They love cars. They love this, they love that. And listen, don't get me wrong. You like what you like. I ain't gonna condemn nobody for what they like, for what they do. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I had a conversation with Naboo the other day. We was talking about clothes and stuff like that. And I said, man, shit, I ain't paying $40 for no belt. We was talking about that big baller brand, them sneakers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we was talking about them big baller, $495 for them sneakers, right? Sneakers. And $220 for the flip-flops. Yeah. And the boy ain't even in the NBA yet. But people buying these sneakers, right? Listen, I ain't got for something for no, I ain't got it. $220 for some flip-flops, I ain't got it. But it's people out there who that's just who they are. They gotta have it. I don't gotta have it. Now, I pay $200 for a book.
Yeah, I will too.
Because I understand what wealth is, yo. You think because you got some $500 sneakers on that make you look wealthy? I had a book on my shelf that's a couple grand. Talking about what? Sneakers? Huh? Now pay a couple grand for it? I'm in trouble, y'all? Moving on. Listen, I learned my lessons. I took my bumps and bruises. Teach him justice, and he shall be honored by the world. Teach him sincerity, and his own heart shall not reproach him. How can your own heart be ashamed of you? You know what kind of individual you got to be for your own heart to be ashamed of you? You got to be a wicked individual, right? Now, you got something, D? Go ahead.
I just wanted to camel walk with you, starting with teaching obedience. This is exactly astrology. This is astrology. Starting with, if you look at it, you'll come out to 12 signs, all right? Obedience is head, which is Aries. Then comes, what does it say? Modesty, that's Taurus. Gratitude is Gemini. Charity is the heart. That's Cancer, all right? Then as we go down, temperance is Leo. Then prudence is Virgo. Yeah, prudence is Virgo. Justice, of course, Libra. That's the key right there. All right. Then teach him sincerity. That's Scorp. Then if you look at diligence, that's Sag. You look at benevolence, that's Cap. And if you teach him science, that's Aquarius, and religion is Pisces. That's the whole, this is astrology, demonstrating astrology.
Teach him diligence, and his wealth shall increase. Teach him benevolence, and his mind shall be exalted. Diligence is steady application of business of any kind. Constant effort to accomplish what is undertaken. How many people really got diligence? I mean, I'm asking y'all to raise your hands. How many, and don't, if you ain't got it, don't be ashamed. How many of y'all got diligence? That no matter what, you're going to get done what it's got to get done. Because some people don't have that. Some people they're going to be lollygagging, they're going to be messing around. They ain't going to actually say, you know what, let me barrel down and get this done. Let me barrel down and get it done. Some people actually want other people to do it for them. It's a lot of people who don't want to do their own due diligence. And want to put in the work. It's easier to pay somebody to put in the work so I can watch the playoffs. Look, y'all know I got a certain relationship with Canaan Land Moores. The very first Skype I did with Canaan Land Moores was when Seattle Seahawks, right? No, Seattle Seahawks, right? Yeah. I'm tripping. Like Seattle Seahawks played Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I didn't see 1 minute of it. I was actually doing an election. I missed the Super Bowl. That's the first time in all my years since I started watching the Super Bowl, I missed a Super Bowl. But when Cujo gave me the date, I didn't question him. I said, "Damn, what I got to do?" You know what I'm saying? We did a lecture on immigration, the Moorish connection to illegal immigration, and I'll sidebar for a second. The reason I did that was this. That was, I think, in 2013. I think 2013. No, 14. Right. The reason I did that was this. This is when they started harassing the Mexicans and saying, "Oh man, they're taking all the jobs, man. The Mexicans this, the Mexicans that, Mexicans." And I'm not sure if you did you go to that building with me downtown? And when we left class and then we went to eat, and then we went downtown, and I think you might have been there. We went to a building that's on the corner of 5th and Arch. I can't remember the name of it. Where I said they had a picture up there of the map of what was North America. You were there, right?
Yeah, me, you, and,
right. Me, you, Rick, and somebody else.
Rick and John.
There you go. So we go down there. There was a picture. It was bigger than this, and it was of what they call now the corporate United States, right? Now, from what you recognize as Texas. So you're talking Texas, you're talking Arkansas, you're talking Nevada, you're talking Arizona, you're talking New Mexico, you're talking California, you're talking Utah, Colorado. All of this was called Mexico.
Yeah.
All of that was Mexico. So this is when they were going. So I took them down there to show them the picture. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if you remember, but when we got there, that picture wasn't on the wall, yo.
Yeah, I remember. They hit it. Yeah, you asked them and they went and got it. Yeah.
Sure enough.
Nah.
The picture was not on the wall, yo. Why not? Because if I'm Mexican and I just stumble in there and I'm like,
I'm at home. I'm at home.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't there.
Yeah. Now it's a problem. Because I'm going to say to the curator, what's up, bro? Right? When we went in there, it wasn't on. I walked right over and I'm like, I looked at the little European dude. I said, "Yo, man, it was a picture up here, United States." And he said, "Yeah, I took it down."
Yeah.
I said, "We took it down." He said, "Yeah." I said, "Why?" He said, "They told me I had to. That it had no relevance."
Yeah.
Now, if it was up there, it had. All of a sudden, it ain't got no relevance because y'all harassing these Mexicans, talking about they taking all the jobs. You don't want them to know they home. They took it down. So we had him go in the back and get it.
Yeah.
Now, I did this for him because I already got pictures of it. But I did it for James and them.
Yeah.
Hey, man, can you go get that? Got my man standing there like this while we snapping pictures in the back. Hold it up, buddy. While we snapping pictures in the back. Real talk.
Yeah, he could.
That's why I did that lecture. Because because I wanted people to know who the true immigrants are. Mexicans are not immigrants.
Right.
Mexicans are Americans.
Right.
We are in America.
Yes.
Europeans are immigrants.
Yes.
So I showed all these pictures from 1910, 1915, and I'm looking at the Statue of Liberty like, whoa. Coming off on a boat showing pictures of Ellis Island and everything else.
Yeah.
Now, to show you how crooked some of their minds are, these same Irish and modern Irish and modern British and modern Dutch, when these brothers and sisters came off the ship that looked like them, they was treating them like meat. They was treating them like cattle property. Turning them away, sending them back. You sick, you diseased. I got the same thing you had before you got here. Check out some Ellis Island documentary. In fact, go ahead and watch that. Moore's connection to illegal immigration. That was one of my first ones. I ain't never did it. I'd be scared to watch everything I do. I won't even lie. It's on YouTube. Moore's connection to illegal immigration. I ain't lying. I was shook because I'm doing a Skype for the first time, right? I can't see nobody in Canaan land, and it's like 30 of them over there. But you can get no feedback. See, like I can look at y'all faces, and I can tell if I need to change direction. I can look at y'all faces, and I can feel the energy. But when you're doing it on Skype, you don't know. I'm sitting there like, man, that's why I still ain't watching. Teach him science, and his life shall be useful. Teach him religion, and his death shall be happy. What science? Who? No, I ain't saying more science. What science? Geometry, math, astrology. What science? Somebody tell me. Nobody?
Gnosis, knowledge.
Can you tell me what science is? Gnosis, knowledge? You gonna say something, bro?
Understanding of life.
Understanding the life. Go ahead, sis. Understanding the life. If you give him the understanding of life, you give him the understanding of life here. The time he gets here, he's a master. Because they come out born geniuses. Do y'all realize like between birth and 5, they really are little geniuses. I say 5 because by the time they get to kindergarten, they start getting dumbed down. No child should ever be trying to put a circle in a square space. You see them children, they be sitting there, won't go in. Ain't no shit. It's square. You trying to put it in a circle. But no child should ever do that. You know what happens? People take their children and say, hey man, sit right here. And let them play video games and let them watch TV.
Yep.
Later for them video games. Later for that TV.
Yep.
Make learning fun. And they'll want to do it. Make it fun. They'll want to do it. With children, all you got to do is make a song out of something. They'll do it. Make a song out of it. And trust me, they'll do it. What you got? Take your microphone.
The comprehension or understanding of truth or facts by the mind.
Ain't that what y'all just said?
Truth or facts. The comprehension or understanding of truth or facts by the mind.
Cool. Religion, please. While she's looking up religion, anybody can tell me what it is?
Others, it is our follies and vices that we behold. They are the shortcomings of humanity to which we belong, whose faults, one and all, we share. Yes, even those very faults at which we know wax so very indignant, merely because they have not yet appeared in ourselves. They are the faults that do not lie on the surface, but they exist down in the depths of our nature. And should anything call them forth, they will come and show themselves, just as we now see them in others. One man, it is true, may have faults that are absent in his fellow, and in the undeniable that the sum total of the bad qualities is in some cases very large, for the difference of individuality between man and man passes all measures.
So does that mean that I ain't no better than them?
Islam.
So don't never turn your nose up at the next man. Don't ever turn your nose up at the next woman. See, we got all of these guidelines that we could be living by. And don't get me wrong, listen, ain't none of us perfect. Ain't none of us gonna follow nothing to a T. And that's because we got something called free will. And that free will is gonna allow us to go left when we should be going right. Islam.
It's like one of the scriptures in here where it talks about the weeds, and it says all the burn all the weeds.
You might have to talk now.
Where it says just to bring me all the weeds that are straight and they're not bent and things like that. And when he came to them the next day and was like, where's the harvest? He said there was none, because you told us to burn all the weeds that weren't straight and that were not bent and things like that. So it's in here or whatever. It's the same thing. Like no one's perfect.
What do y'all do with weeds when you find them in your yard? Y'all pull them? It's awesome. You eat them? Oh, man. Y'all know men will be fighting about that? Because even though you call them weeds, to me they still flowers, they still plants.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? They say, well, they're killing all the other flowers. Yeah. Well, of course you're going to want the pretty ones to die, right? Because you think they're pretty. If the other, listen. Well, I mean, figure like this. I don't necessarily want to see that lion kill that gazelle. But that's what they do. That's what it is. So do I take the lion's life so he don't take the gazelle's life? I'm talking about me. I'm talking. See the problem. Now, see, here's the situation. Now, what you just read, right? Here's the situation. We talking about what we call flowers and we call weeds. What's the difference? There ain't no difference. There's no difference in what you call flowers and what you call weeds. You just like these, and you don't like them because you think they're ugly. Weeds strangle the life out of flowers. That's what me and her go through, right? Right? Because I ain't pulling them, right? Lions strangle the life out of gazelles.
It's the nature of life.
Exactly. So leave the weeds alone. Although, I'm going to have to go get some of that lower self-justice. You understand what I'm talking about? What's say? When thou sellest a gain, hear the whispering of conscience, and be satisfied with moderation, nor from the ignorance of thy buyer take any advantage. Right? So that's talking about greed. That's talking about one of them 7 deadly sins. Right? If you can get a moderate price for it, go ahead and sell it. See, a lot of I don't want to say Asiatics because that's a vast group of people. So let's just say some people, some Asiatics, don't have the concept of moderation. They don't have that concept. Everything got to be big, right? And then you go to some Asiatics who got stores, and they'll sell something for a penny because they know they're going to sell 1,000 of them. And then we got the same product, and we sell one because we sell it for 1,000. Greed, moderation. Some people don't have that concept. See, this, like I told y'all before, when I first got this book, I chucked it. I wasn't ready for it. This ain't nothing but lessons for life. This ain't nothing but preparedness to get you ready to go out there. Preparedness for you to give to your babies. That's all it is. And we got. I mean, listen. When you come across the knuckleheads that say Prophet Noble Drew Ali wrote this book, hey, y'all don't argue with him because y'all know he did, right? Y'all know it's saying on the cover, it was divinely prepared. Divinely prepared. When you divinely prepare a meal, you take some onions, you take some tomatoes, you take some celery, some sweet peppers, and you put it together and you make a meal. That's all he did. It's a meal, y'all eat. That's all he did. Pay the debts which thou owest. For he who gave thee credit relieth upon thine honor, and to withhold him from his due is both mean and unjust. Finally, O son of society, examine thy heart, call remembrance to thy aid, and if any of these things thou have transgressed, make a speedy reparation to the utmost of thy power. Man, I read that and I wanted to cry. I was like, man, we ain't supposed to be beating people up when they do us wrong, right? But the justice that is being talked about, man, is justice really to your own soul, to yourself, right? You're doing injustice when you do wrong to somebody else. And initially, on the surface, it might seem like just an injustice to that person, but you've done an injustice to yourself. You hurt yourself. I mean, it's one thing for me to take a baseball bat and hit somebody else in the leg, but it's another thing for me to sit there and beat myself in the leg. You've done an injustice to yourself. Some people might not see it that way, just because you beat somebody with a baseball bat, but the reality is what you've done. Even though I think some people need baseball bats. Huh? I ain't throwing baseballs at nobody. Y'all see who I live with? She cool with the lion killing the gazelle. Because she don't want the plants to get choked. Yeah, chapter 24. The obedience of children towards their father. And again, the reason I say this is remedy, the reason I put remedy on the top of the page is because as you go through it, as you get a hold of these words, as you read the definition of these words, it changes the structure of the sentence when you actually know what the word means. And people keep talking about, man, we need remedy, we need remedy, we need remedy. That's it. Get your act together, get your life together, get your soul together. Right? When you got these certain concepts, and you got these ideologies, and you can live by them. Like I said, ain't nobody going to live by that to the T, but you can do your absolute best. What we was talking about, what was that? What word was that? When we was talking about, was it diligence? Steady application of business of any kind? That's business of any kind. Trying to get your head right, trying to think right, trying to be right. That's diligence on its top degree. Some people don't want to live right. Some people will say, I just can't do this. Anytime you say, I just can't, that means I just won't. We can do anything we want. It's our minds. That's why the prophet said, in order to change the people, you got to change their literature. Because if I wasn't reading this Holy Quran, I wouldn't have these concepts. Right? I wouldn't take the time to say, you know what, let's really see what this word means. I would just keep on using it. In everyday conversation, no problem. Just keep on using these same old words. But now that you got these definition lists, you're going to look at these same words differently. You're going to look at all of this stuff differently, man. And hopefully, I hope that by me for the past few years giving y'all all of these definitions, it makes you stop and look up certain stuff when you come to it, because that's what you should do when you read it. When you come to words, like I said, even though we know what useful is, we know what worthless is. We know what a maxim is. We know what bent is. We know what all of that stuff is. But read the definition and then read the sentence again. And then you got a whole different understanding of what the science is trying to tell you. Chapter 24. From the secrets of Allah, let man learn wisdom and apply to himself the instruction they give. Then I think we define wisdom. Is wisdom one or the other? The right use or exercise, the right use or exercise of knowledge. That's wisdom. If you ask most people what wisdom is, they ain't going to say that. If you ask most people what wisdom is, the first thing that's going to come to their mind is a gray-haired old person. They would never think that a 2-year-old has that wisdom. That 2-year-old might just came back. It could be that same gray-haired person you think about. And that 2-year-old came back with that same information they just left with. But somebody was just saying something, I think it might have been you, about us not paying attention to the children. Right? So many people just be like, oh man, that boy crazy. Sit him in the corner. He ain't crazy. You better listen to that boy. If he telling you he's seeing Uncle Doc on the steps, you better listen. Uncle Doc is in the house.
I'm just going to make the comment. They very easily say, oh, well, the baby looks like grandpa, or it looks like somebody in the family, but then at the same time, they ignore the fact that there's somebody in their family coming back unless it's
read, talking about ancestors, right? How many of y'all talk to their ancestors? Every day. Marlon don't talk to no him. Marlon just back there mad. That's why he on the door. He don't talk to nobody. He like, I ain't talking. Hey, listen. Some of y'all probably don't remember, but the first day he was here, or the first time Marlon came to class, I know you remember. My man had a cold-blooded attitude. Man, and I'm just standing here looking at him. He was sitting over there with Miss Phyllis. He was hot. Man, I got a son. What we gonna do, man? Let's go out here and kill them all. I'm like, bro, we can't kill them all. No, man, I ain't trying to hear that. He want to kill them all. So, huh?
Is he the brother with the Elohim on the backpack?
No.
He drives the bus?
Yeah. Oh, he had a backpack on?
You got a backpack that says Elohim?
Yeah.
That's
that's the bus driver. Yeah, that's the bus driver. That's the bus driver. Right. My man was hot. Man, I got a son. Let's kill them all. I'm like, nah, man. Right? Modern family now. That's my brother. Like family. That's my brother. Right? So now we don't talk about killing them all. We just talk about killing like a tenth of them. Go to the desert, my son. Observe the young stork of the wilderness. Let them speak to thy heart. He beareth on his wings his aged sire. He lodges him in safety and supplieth him with food. Now, when I read that, right, but this morning when I was reading that, when I'm putting this together, I said, you know what? Let me see what a stork looks like. Because I know what they say, the stork, that's the, carrying the babies, right? But when I went to Google to look for a stork, pictures of storks don't come up. There's a movie, a cartoon called Storks, and it's flooded. That's it. I had to go through hell and hot water just to find a picture of a stork. There was no pictures of those storks. So I'm thinking, like, damn, they extinct now? Like, are they still around? Huh?
It's just a commercial.
Yeah, so they still out there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, and you think about this passage, right? Observe the young stork in the wilderness. Let him speak to thy heart. He beareth on his wings his aged sire. Who's his aged sire? His father. And he's doing what? Taking care of. Taking care of. If you, I don't even want to say if you're in a position, because if you ain't in a position, then you should be making a way. It's not, bro. You should be making a way to be in position. If your mother or your father needs you, you're supposed to break every rule and everything you got to do to make sure they got what they need. I ain't saying rob banks. That ain't what I'm saying. But you should be doing that's what it says right here. I got my father. Look, if my father need me, then my father got me. Without a shadow of a doubt. It's long, bro. The book. You say? Oh, you stretching? All right. His aged fire, he lodges him in safety and supplieth him with food. That's the circle of life. That's what Bree was just saying, the circle of life. What's up, dude? So in the beginning, your aged sire did the same thing for you that you're supposed to be doing on the other end for him. One hand wash the other. The piety of a child is sweeter than an incense of Persia, offering to the sun, yea, more delicious than odors wafted from a field of Arabian spices and western gales. Be grateful to thy father, for he gave thee life, and to thy mother, for she sustained thee. Now, I ain't coming at nobody's neck or nothing, because one time I said something wasn't right in the one-on-ones, and it's not correct. And people, you saw it on YouTube. Oh, he think he better than the prophet. He think he this, he think he that. No, it's just that I see. It's just that I see. Here it says, be grateful to thy father, for he gave thy life. Your father didn't give you life. Your mother gave you life. Your mother didn't even necessarily need your father to bring you forth. So your father didn't give you life. So I corrected that. So anybody who sees this on YouTube, kick rocks. I mean, for real, because they get stupid. And they say, oh, he think he better than, no. I just seen the correction and I made it. Your father didn't give you life, your mother did. Hear these words of his mouth, for they are spoken for the good. Give ear to his admonition, for it proceeded from love. He had watched for thy welfare. He hath toiled for thy ease. Do honor therefore to his age, and let not his gray hairs be treated with irreverence. Let's go back and clarify a couple of the words. Admonition means general reproof, counseling against fault, instruction and duties, caution and direction. So don't be mad at your pop for straightening you out. Don't be mad at your pop for saying, yo, don't go that way. Go that way. Even though you might want to go that way, your pop done already been down that road. And he's telling you, listen, it's bad, go this way. I want you to walk on this path, straight and narrow. I already went the crooked way. It didn't work. He hath not watched for thy welfare. He hath toiled for thy ease. Do honor therefore to his age, and let not his gray hairs be treated with irreverence. And that's just the state of being disregarded. Forget not thy helpless infancy, nor the forwards of thy youth, and indulge in the infirmities of thy aged parents. Assist and support them in the decline of life. So shall their hoary heads go down to the grave in peace, and thine own children in reverence of example shall repay piety with filial love. What's that last word? Filial. I definitely had to look that up because I didn't know what it was, and that's pertaining to a son or daughter. Pertaining to a son or daughter. So it says, shall their hoary heads, hoary is gray or white, just meaning that they're old, goes down to the grave in peace, and thine own children in reverence of thine example shall repay the piety with the children's love. Y'all ever see, how many of y'all ever watch, what's the name of that show, Kevin Spacey? House of Cards. Any of y'all ever see, any of y'all watch House of Cards? Yes. Y'all ever see the episode when Claire's mom, when she was dying? Yes. You see how unhappy she was? How miserable she was. This woman hated her mother so much that even in her mother's dying state, she wouldn't touch her hand. She was like, hurry up and die. She was like, hurry up and die. I don't know if I could ever get that mad at my mother. I don't know if I'm real talk. And don't get me wrong, I get angry with people at times. But I don't know if I could ever get that mad at my mother, that if she was laying there dying, that I would just be like, hurry up and die. I don't even want what you got. I just want to put you in a box and get rid of you. That's how she looked at it. That's crazy. That's totally crazy. What time is it? 3:02. Huh? She said, no, let me show you this. Bree bought me this clock. But she said, I don't know how to shut up. She said, I'll keep talking and talking and talking. It'll be 4 o'clock, it'll be 5 o'clock. And so she bought me a clock. You know what I'm saying? Justice, right? Justice. Right. Chapter 25. Y'all have heard this before. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. You are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother hath given you suck. And we done been over that 1,000 times. What's that first line mean? The child of one father, and one mother hath given you suck.
My understanding of that instruction is that one father allows to forth his seed into the earth, and the earth produced. That's my understanding of that.
Okay.
But it's not literally your dad and your mom, but that allows you forth his seed, and that's in the creation of both man. And the mother would be the earth, and the earth would be
So when it says, let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, like they ain't talking about my blood brother.
No, they are talking about you and not necessarily your blood brother, but yeah, everybody. Yes, all Asiatics, we're all one blood. Yes.
Okay.
That's why you said you'll see us everywhere, all over the earth. So yes, we are talking about all brothers.
So let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers.
Yes.
You realize that no matter where people come from, sometimes we can actually build and get along and chop it up with them. Right? As long as they ain't some of those arrogant, snotty, and misled people who look at us like niggers. Right? Because you got some of them who will turn their nose clear up to the sky and look at us like we scum. But for those, you go to those other places and you sit there and you like, hey, what's up, bro? Even like earlier today, when we were sitting here dialoguing with one of the chefs in the back, right? Even though there was some cross lines of communication, we were still able to talk. We were still able to talk. You were gonna say something, sis?
No.
Okay. Remember the bonds of affection, therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. Where's thy father's house? Who?
In the heart.
Our body?
The mind.
Within?
The heart. The mind.
See, this is the thing I like about a question like this, right? And I'll tell you this, like all of y'all said something different, right? But all of y'all right. Right? Because see, your perception is your own. Now, somebody was saying the mind, somebody was saying the body, somebody was saying this, somebody was saying that. And then I think about, so it says, let peace and happiness dwell in thy father's house. Now, a second ago, Ali Matu said, if Allah took the seeds and threw them to the earth could be considered his house. Huh?
So is the cosmos.
So is the cosmos.
That's right.
Right? When peace and happiness dwells in the Father's house, I guess the sun be shining, clear blue skies, ain't nobody getting hit by cars, nobody being shot. See, people will read this and they won't have a clear understanding. They'll think in that Father's house, they might be thinking church. They might be thinking a temple. They might be thinking some holy place. And they might not even be realizing that the temple is what I'm walking in.
That's right.
That the holy place is what I'm walking in. Islam.
Islam. Also, just to go off that, go to the Morris Keys, the 101, it says, who made you, Allah. And when we're talking about Allah, even in the MSDA, we put a gender on it, but we know that we're going from if you're looking at creation from a non-physical aspect, metaphysically, there's no gender, You have masculine, you have feminine principles, Islam. So, when it says that Allah being the Father of the universe, and it says that who made you, Allah, the Father of the universe, and then it says the universe, he's the universe. So if he's the Father of the universe, we're the children of the universe. That means that our vast estate doesn't just include what we can see with our eyes. It also includes the universe. Like our perspective needs to change. Like we look at things in a micro perspective instead of a macro, meaning that this is all ours.
That's social engineering.
Islam.
That's one of Abdullah's terms.
Yeah.
I'm seriously, I learned that from him.
Yeah.
It's social engineering.
Yeah.
It's what see if they keep look, they're not going to beat what's around my neck into nobody's head. Some people are going to look at what's around my neck and be like, they're a little out there.
Yeah.
And then some of y'all can understand.
That's right.
Right? That's just the zodiac revolving around the sun.
That's right. Islam. That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Some people ain't going to understand that. Some people have no concept of as above, so below. Right? And when they look out there, into them stars, that's just what it is. Them stars. Them stars give you energy.
Right.
Them stars give you life. Them stars give you a whole lot more than what you can imagine. And because we've been, like you said, we think in micro instead of macro, we never gonna think that big. We never, and that's the sad reality of why some of us stay stuck in the ruts that we stay stuck in. Because we don't never think that big. We always think right here, right now, what's in front of us. Let me ask you this. I'll just ask you, when the last time you've been to another state? Not you, Mr. President. What about
The other day.
the other day?
Yeah,
All right. When the last time you've been to another state? Not for work, but just been.
I would say last year.
Last year.
The end of the year last year. I was with the son.
Huh?
I was on tour. I went from
He was on tour, so that was work. So that don't count.
So that don't count.
That don't count. You know how many of us think micro? We don't ever think to do anything outside of the norm that we normally do. Even though I be seeing me and her fight, me and Bree don't really fight. But we fight because she said, you just always want to just get up and go. Come spontaneous like that. I be sitting in the house and be like, come on, let's go to New York. She like, I gotta watch goals. I'm like, watching them up. Let's go. Listen. You know why? Because, see, all of us dream. Some of us don't remember our dreams. People say, man, I never dream. You do. You don't remember. Because you got them blocked. You know what I'm saying? You got something going on to whereas you can't remember. But that's all I do is dream. I daydream and I night dream. Right? I dream when I'm conscious, and I dream when I'm even more conscious. Right? Because when you sleep, you're even more conscious than you are when you woke. You just thinking it. That's why everything seems so real. Because you really are there. You ain't got no limitations on that side. You ain't got them cuffs on yourself saying, listen, man, I had dreams that I can fly all the time. I ain't gonna jump off the York house. But I had dreams real talk. I just go. And I just be up there. Right? So many people don't dream. They don't dream. They just accustomed to the same old. Thinking micro, thinking macro. Listen, go somewhere. So when we went on that last Philly tour, family at that table went, family at this table went. Of course, Marlon went. He was driving. Me and Marlon missed half the tour because we was on the bus. Right? That last Philly tour that we did, right here in the city of Philadelphia, that last Philly tour that we did, we made 6 new stops. Right? So, like I said, me and Marlon didn't get to. You were there too?
I missed it.
You missed it? So me and Marlon didn't get to see a lot because we stayed on the bus, but they saw it all. And they saw it all. Right? Now, that's just right here in Philly. We were out there for like 8-9 hours. And we still didn't do everything that you know what I'm saying? And they got a wealth of information right here in the city. Now, a lot of people were supposed to go on the tour, they didn't make it. I might as well put it out there, right? But I'm going to just put it out there now for people who can't make it. We're doing another one on June 3rd. For people who couldn't make it. But I'm telling y'all now, I ain't playing games with nobody. If y'all gonna speak up, and y'all gonna pay up before we make any moves. Because I paid for the last bus. Yeah, because so many people text me and called me and said I'm coming and didn't come. So I ended up coughing up the bread for the bus to make sure that the driver got a tip and to make sure that Ross Ben got compensated for his time. See, commitment. When you say you're going to do something, do it. I'm telling y'all, people was bugging me for over a month. Man, I'm going. Texting me, I got all that stuff on my phone. Man, I'm going. Yo, put me down, put my son down, put my daughter down. And there was only like 20 of us out there. Was it that many? Huh? About 20 people. And I kept saying, man, this bus gonna be packed. Not a chance. And then people always wonder why they say, oh man, we can't get nothing done. We can't get nothing done because you won't stick to your word. If you say you're gonna do it, do it. If you're gonna be about this life, be about this life. It's not saying that you gotta sacrifice whatever you think might be fun or whatever. Listen, like I told y'all, me and her supposed to be in New York this whole weekend. Cooling out. It's our anniversary. But we here for y'all. And I ain't complaining. I just want you to understand that sometimes you make a little sacrifice, it's not the end of the world. Because you know what? New York ain't going nowhere. But the 20th was the only date we had in May for me to be at the York House. I'm here. Sacrifice, y'all. Sacrifice a little bit of your time. So whether it's the Circle 7 Holy Quran, whether it's any other book that you got to help, to elevate your way of thinking, to elevate your soul, to make you start feeling and understanding and knowing that you're that God being, then take 20 minutes, take 30 minutes a day and read. What you gonna miss? Husbands in Hollywood? Do yourself a favor, miss that. Do yourself a favor, miss that. Listen, it's like I said, man. I know to the average person who might read this, they're gonna say this ain't remedy. This ain't telling me how to beat them tickets. This ain't telling me how to get out of the mortgage. This ain't telling me, yeah, what you want? Come on, man. Because if this information was never out there, you would just be going on and living your life. You would just pay your mortgage. I know what they're doing is corrupt. But you got to understand that we are under occupation. We don't have it set up so that we can go to each other and get property and get land. We don't have it set up like that. We can have it set up like that, but it's all according to y'all. If y'all want what y'all say y'all want, we can make it happen. And like I said, I'm standing up here with a microphone, but we can sit at a round table, and ain't nobody got to be the head of it. And we take votes and we make decisions. We can do that. We can do that. Most times we don't. Most times we don't. Listen, I'm telling y'all flat out. I don't got to be the chief. I'd be happy being one of the little Indians. But I'm on my hands and knees, whether I'm in North Carolina, whether I'm in West Virginia, whether I'm in Toronto, whether I'm in Montreal or Ottawa, wherever we go. My message is the same. I ain't changing no stripes. My message is going to be the same. Let's get this shit done. I don't want the babies to come up and be 41 like me and be having to go to class like this. I don't want to be 81 and still doing lectures. We can make it happen, y'all, real talk. Everybody, listen, everybody don't need to be on the front line. Some people, listen, some people can be like this. Can be behind the board and throw rocks from behind the board. She's saying baseball. She's trying to hurt people. We watch the ID channel all the time. All them killing shows, all that type of stuff. Killing your husband, so if I disappear. I'm hitting people with baseball. But what I'm saying is everybody don't got to be on the front line. Yeah. Imagine this. Imagine we had a jural society, right? And imagine if all of us could sign the same piece of paper and turn it into PICO. Sign the same piece of paper and turn it into PGW. Sign the same piece of paper and turn it into the water department. As opposed to each one of us sending something different to the same company. Y'all know how that looks? Make us look like dummies. Real talk. Real talk. Without a jural society, without unity, this thing, we fight an uphill battle. We fight an uphill battle. That's the bottom line. There ain't no way to cue it. There ain't no way to make it sound any better, or to try to be friendly. You just gotta say it for what it is. Things ain't going to change if we don't. Change is the only constant in the world. Listen, time changes. Every second of every day, time changes. The seasons change. Your haircut is going to change. The way you walk is going to change. Your body weight is going to change. If you can't accept change, if you can't wholeheartedly understand and accept change, then you might as well just climb in the grave now. And remember, when you get in that grave, it's still going to be changed. Because you ain't going to look the same in a year and a half. Everything changes. While we're upright, while we're on this plane, this soul plane, we have to be able to accept change. You don't got to like it. Just understand it. Y'all think about Y'all think about what I say about a jury society. About one big round table. Right? Because we all on different degrees of it. Right? Some people got certain degrees that I don't have. I might have certain degrees that other people don't have. Some people got certain skills that I don't have. But collectively, we all got them same skills because we won. Collectively, we all got them same degrees because we won. Jural. You're going to want to look that up in the legal dictionary. I mean, like a law dictionary. You can come look it up in the Black's Law and read it if you want to. Huh? He said, forget that. I'm going to read it. So you have it. I'll read it so you have it. Jural. Pertaining to natural or positive right, or the doctrines of rights and obligations as jural relations, of or pertaining to jurisprudence, juristic, jurisdiction, recognized or sanctioned by positive law, embraced within or covered by the rules and enactments of positive law, founded in law, organized upon the basis of the fundamental law, and existing for the recognition and protection of rights. That's everything we talk about, y'all. But if we don't come together and we don't put it together, it ain't gonna happen. We can sit around and keep putting the cart before the horse all we want. Until we do that, until we got that, then it ain't no going to talk to none of these public officials about nothing. Because I can't go and she can't go and then we all saying, nah, man. Like I said before, if I get a ticket in South Philly, it's going to be the same as the ticket in North Philly. It ain't going to be no different. So, only thing we can do, only thing we have to do is become one. One is the all. It's not.
Right here.
This group of people right here. I've been saying it for 2 years. Even though it's a different group of people every time we come in there. Real talk. It's all about what y'all want. We can talk nationality and birthright all day long. We can talk it all day long, right? But if we ain't putting no effort into it, I'll put it like this. There's a bunch of cars parked out there on the street, right? They meant to drive. They meant to move. But if somebody don't go get in them cars and turn the key and put it in drive, it's not going to move. All right, so we just a bunch of cars. Ain't nobody driving nowhere. Nobody's traveling. There ain't no keys been turned, and ain't nothing been put in gear. It's that time. It's that time. That song I played in the beginning of the class, We Are the World. We can go anywhere in the world and see us. But here, we suffer most. Don't be confused about people not having food. Don't be confused about people not having shoes on their feet. You go to Jamaica and you see brothers walking around, they barefoot and all that type of stuff. You go to Kingston and you see the brothers, they walking around with AK-47s and AR-15s and machetes. And the police don't bother them. Now who's free? Real talk. Who's free? The police don't bother them. That's real talk. I think your brother just wants some coffee or something, y'all. That's all.
That's your house coffee.
That's who?
That's your house coffee. Our coffee's there.
Where's
That's your house coffee.
Oh, well, you know, get some coffee. I thought that was our coffee.
No.
Ain't no big good. Ain't no much coffee.
Your house coffee.
Listen, y'all, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Listen. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Principles that we got to live by. Or principles we got to understand. I ain't saying none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect and none of y'all perfect. We're going to all fall short. But when you fall short, you're supposed to get up and you're supposed to finish that race. The only way it's going to get done is if we do it. I've been standing here for a long time, and I've been saying it over and over and over and over. I'm willing to make it happen, y'all. Real talk. Think about it when you go home. Think about it when you go to work one day. Think about it next Saturday. And think about it after that, really. What are you really willing to do? It's only a small sacrifice. It seems great, it seems grand, but it's really a small sacrifice. And it's for your benefit and for your children's benefit. And for their children's benefit, and for some of them other children out there who have nobody to do it. You know what I'm saying? Before I leave, I'm going to tell you about it. I was daydreaming, and I'm going to tell you what I talked to her about. I don't know where it came from. I say this and then I'm going to get out of it. I said to her, I said, imagine if we had a nice sized building, right? And we could house, let's just say 50 children, and let's say 25 staff, right? Y'all know how many children get funneled through the system from house to house to house to house to house in the foster care system? Y'all know how many of these children get treated bad, they get abused, they get verbally abused, they get physically abused, they get sexually abused, right? Now, it's the children that need to get this information and come up with it so that way they can project it, right? Imagine if we had that house where we could house 50 to 100 children, right? And we could teach them more science. We could teach them mathematics, right? We can teach them how to read correctly. We can have them there with us and give them the skills. Like, we got all these buildings around us. We got all these electricians. We got all these carpenters. Look, Naboo sitting back there, every piece of jewelry that I got on, he made. He just got finished with this and gave it to me this morning. I called him with an idea, and now I got it on my neck. Imagine if he was teaching children that from the time they was 10 years old. And by the time they get 22, imagine, y'all, just dream with me for a minute. See, when I have these dreams, this shit's for real for me. I want to make it reality. I can't do it by myself. Them babies need us. I mean, real talk. These children in the foster care, they get beat up. They get told, ain't nobody else gonna want you, so you're gonna have to stay here with me. Your hair nappy, ugly, your feet stink. Imagine if we didn't treat them like that. Imagine if they had something to look forward to, real talk. Imagine if they didn't have to look forward to the block like some of us did. Imagine if they didn't have to live in a society where they gotta carry, imagine just real shit. The only way for stuff like that to happen is for somebody to make it happen.
So we'll step up to the plate.
I'm here. I'm trying to bat 1,000.
I'm right beside you.
Huh?
I would support that 100%.
That's not me.
Islam.